Welcome everyone to IDB. The HomeKit ecosystem is thriving with more and more accessories being released nearly every week, and one of the ones that I was most excited about was the recent update to the Logitech Circle 2 camera. This fairly recent update added HomeKit capabilities to this existing product. Now not only can you take advantage of all the features that the Circle 2 has to offer, which there are quite a lot, but you can also take advantage of HomeKit. Some of the really nice features include the really easy setup, advanced motion filtering, smart time-lapse for a debrief, which is very cool, obviously two-way audio, there's a speaker and a mic, and then even night vision. Cameras are a fairly recent addition to the HomeKit ecosystem, with only a couple so far hitting the market that actually include HomeKit support, and the Logitech Circle being the second of those products. HomeKit support for cameras is fairly early, which means that there's not a ton of features that you can do yet through HomeKit. There are quite a few and they're extremely useful, but it often means you need to use Logitech's or the other third-party app in conjunction with HomeKit to get the most out of your cameras. We're going to walk through both the HomeKit app and HomeKit automation, as well as everything in the Circle app and what you can do there. The camera comes with everything you need to get started, as it should, and there's also a pretty good ecosystem of other accessories that you can add onto this, including outdoor weatherproofing and other minor accessories that you could use depending on where you would like to mount it and where you would like to use it. As far as what you get with the basic kit to get up and get going, you're going to have two boxes inside that are going to contain the camera itself, the camera mount, the camera cord which is attached to the mount, the power adapter, and then a little bag of mounting accessories, which really help you mount this in many places compared to the other HomeKit cameras on the market. The de facto mount is really nice. It has a very nice tension on it. It's going to keep the camera in place. It's got a little bit of a weight to the base and some silicone grip to keep it in place. But it can also attach to your additional wall mount that was included in the little bag of accessories. The cord is a USB and it is quite long, which helps depending on where you are trying to mount it. Unfortunately, that means this is not a wireless camera. Apparently, according to Apple's HomeKit terms right now, you cannot create a wireless HomeKit camera. Hopefully that is something that we see cleared up and corrected inside of iOS 12. The power brick is pretty standard. It's just a small little power brick with a USB port on it, and it works with different adapters based on where you're at. So for instance, I have the US adapter plugged in. The little bag of mounting hardware is going to be really useful if you want to do something other than just set your camera on a table or a shelf. If you want to mount it on the wall, this is definitely something to keep in mind. Then we have the camera itself, which is, as you may have guessed, shaped like a circle. On the one side, we have the microphone and the speaker, so you can communicate, whether that is with someone at home or someone you should not have at home, and then the camera just mounts onto that base fairly easily. The top of this actually is all replaceable based on which kind of mount that you're going to be using. So the de facto mount that comes with it is pretty straightforward, just has the base and the part that goes around the camera itself. It attaches fairly easily. If you ever wanted to take it off, simply line up the two subtle marks and then just kind of pull on the opposite side and it'll just release itself. It's very easy to do if you ever do need to do it. To get started, I plugged in the camera and opened up the Logitech app, or the Circle app, and I went through the basic getting started process of creating an account and pairing my camera. It was all fairly painless. Then they walk you through the features of the app itself, including tapping on the screen to remove all the controls, holding on to the bottom left-hand corner icon to communicate, hold that down to speak into your phone and have it come out of the camera and to hear what is happening on the camera on the other side. Then of course you have the filters and the navigation on the right hand side to jump back in time to any time that it detected motion and whether or not that was a person or high activity, whatever type of motion it may have detected. And then of course you can save any recent videos or take a picture of what is currently on the screen. As a HomeKit user, obviously the thing that I was most interested in was how it worked with HomeKit. So I jumped over to the HomeKit app, hit the plus button in the top right hand corner, and then searched for the accessory. It showed up as the Logi Circle there. I then put in the HomeKit pairing code that is very small printed on this camera. This one did not come out of the box, it just printed on the underside of the camera. I entered that in, I gave it a name, chose what room I would have this camera in this case would be the patio, and opted to include it into favorites or not. We also have a second accessory being added, which is the motion sensor. So you can use this motion sensor like any other HomeKit motion sensor to trigger any sort of different activity. Now I'm going to go to Rooms in the Home app and jump to the patio. Here you can see the motion sensor up top under the accessories, and down below under cameras you can see a freeze frame from the camera. I can go ahead and hold down on that using 3D touch and view what is going on live. If I just give it a moment, it'll go back to a freeze frame when I release. And then on top you can see the motion sensor, which immediately picked up on the motion since I am moving in front of the camera. If I tap on details on that camera, I can also turn on notifications, so I can be notified through HomeKit whenever the camera detects motion. Thanks to iOS 11, there are different qualifiers that I can put on those notifications as well. For instance, I could have them only during the night when I want to know what's going on in the house, only during the day when I'm not home, or just really when anyone who's not supposed to be here is here. That makes getting notifications from these cameras' motion sensors a whole lot better in iOS 11. It was pretty much a pain in iOS 10 because you would either get them all the time or never. So it was a little bit frustrating, so they've cleared that up here in iOS 11. As far as automation goes, there's a whole bunch of things you can do, mostly relying on that motion sensor. So for instance, what I have set up is maybe I have it on the patio window there, and anytime that it is night and my camera detects motion, I want it to go ahead and light up all the patio lights. I want to turn those on so maybe it scares someone away. So someone come in, an animal or something, someone comes in, the camera picks up the motion, and the lights all turn on. It makes the camera easier to see everything, even though it does have night vision. Light is better, so it'll light everything up so the camera can see better, and then the lights will automatically go off after 10 minutes. As I mentioned, there are different accessories that you can pick up. For instance, there's a little plug, so you can plug it straight into an outlet and mount it right there. No wires necessary. Or you can see this window mount. The window mount is super useful because you don't have to put the camera outside. It is weatherproof, but why put it outside when you can keep it inside? And there's a special mount. It'll put it right up against the window at the perfect distance with easily removable kind of rubbery adhesives. And then it'll no longer have the mount hanging off the back because it does include its own power cable that is slightly different without the weighted base on there. And then in the app, you can actually let it know that you've mounted it to the window, and it'll automatically adjust the features such as when it turns on night mode, the field of view, and even the LED on the front. Of all the different accessories, I found the window mount probably most useful. It is really handy to be able to put it just on the lower right hand corner of a window, tuck the cable away. I don't have to run a cable outside to get it mounted and still get a great shot from outdoors. And here you can see the patio lights. I'm using the iDevices HomeKit switch. It's an outdoor switch, and then whenever my camera detects motion, all of these lights will turn on. Now let's jump back to the Circle 2 application. There are tons of different options to go through here, including smart alerts that you can turn on based on location, the frequency, the activity level that you want to be notified about, and even whether or not it thinks it detects a person using machine learning. By choosing the camera mount that you've used, whether wired, window, plug, or custom, it's really easy to automate the process of choosing the field of view. When the LED on the front is on and off, they're basically just presets for things that you can choose manually. You can tie this into other services like Alexa, HomeKit, and even the Logitech pop button, which is one of my favorite HomeKit accessories. It's really useful, and you can use that to turn on maybe privacy mode with the camera just by pressing the button. But let's just jump back to the main view of the camera. One of the most unique and cool features is this day brief. You can choose over the last however many hours between 1 and 24 and what type of motion you'd like to check out, and then how long you would like that video to be. Then go ahead and hit play or generate, and it'll put together a video of everything that's happened in the last however many hours that matches your criteria. You can see everything that's happened, and it's really useful, especially if you're looking for something in particular or you just want to see what was going on. The wide 180-degree field of view is absolutely awesome, and you can see so much. Here we're in a little bit of a tight area, and I'm on the inside of a window, so you can't see everything that's outside, but when we switch to this other view, you'll be able to see up above and how much crazy area this camera can see. It is worth noting that there are different plans that you can get for this camera. There is definitely a basic plan that is 100% free, they don't have to worry about, and it gives you 24 hours of recordings. However, if you're looking for more than that, there's the basic plan called Circle Safe Basic, and then Circle Safe Premium. Basic will give you 14 days of storage, and Premium will give you 31 days, motion zones that you can automatically highlight, and even more advanced filters. To say this camera is one of my favorites is a bit of an understatement. I currently have, I believe, 5 different cameras monitoring my home, and I absolutely love this one. I'm actually going to go pick up a second one to put up in another location, and I just love it. I love the simplicity and the wealth of extra accessories that you can pick up and all the different mounting options. Like, you have so much flexibility in what you're doing. It works indoor, outdoor, there's different plans and storage options and motion sensing and people detection. There's just so much here to love aside from its excellent HomeKit integration. I hope to see more coming in the future, and if you want to pick one up, there's a link below in the description. Let me know what you think down in the comments, subscribe, and until next time, it's Andrew for IDB.